Wow, looks like we're live now. Yeah, we'll record. I'm just getting myself set up. I've got another computer running here so I can just see the feed live. I was just running it through all of this, and I actually found it was sort of slowing it down and getting a bit sticky from trying to have too much open. So while people are coming on, two people, I just need to open up, refresh my page over here, and let's see who's around. Actually, one of them's going to be me. I'd be really sad if both of them are me. Three eyes on. Right. Let me know who's here. I'm just curious. I'm all getting in. I'm feeling like I'm doing a webinar or something. Two people. Oh, that's a shame. We just turned one off. Never mind. Right, so what I'm going to be talking about in this live, I'm just going to wait a minute or two. Wendy, hi. Silke, is that? Marcus, cool. Good to see you. So I don't know how I've got three people commenting and I've only got two eyes on it according to this, but that's all cool. Right, good morning to you too, Marcus. So what we're going to do, I'm going to hang on a minute and just see what comes, see who else comes on before I start off, because this won't be too long a session. I'm not an expert on this. As a few of you guys saw, I just really responded to a comment over in a group saying, oh, I'll give you a hand. And I think Wendy and a few others were quite interested that I, just to see what I know. So yeah, this is not me trying to be some expert, and certainly got nothing to sell. I'm not interested in trying to fix anybody's websites. So yeah, this is just a very light little tutorial telling you what I know. Silk. Okay, there we go. Thank you. I've looked at it a few times in the group and wasn't quite sure how to pronounce it right. So thank you for putting me right there. Brilliant. I tell you what, shall we jump in? So first of all, where are guys at? A few people did comment back to me and just say, I think there are a few people that have got websites elsewhere, but you're using Kajabi for courses and not necessarily an immediate need for this. Some people with landing pages on here. Some people asking about courses. Yeah, no problem at all, Marcus. Pleasure to help out. To be honest, this is one of those kind of pay it forward type things, because only a couple of months ago I decided to, I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I'm paying for Kajabi and then I'm paying for a website over here. Same with lead pages with my landing pages, the same with ConvertKit for my emails. I'm actually in the process of shifting stuff over because I love Kajabi. I love, I've posted several questions in with ideas and they seem to respond to it. So I'm really liking the team at Kajabi, very receptive to feedback. And actually the support, the Facebook page, the official Kajabi Facebook page, whatever it's called, is really good. If you've got a question, post it in there, and I guarantee within a few minutes somebody will jump on it and give you a good answer back. So it was Jack Long, actually, from the BBD group, who was really good with me. I'm trying to work out how to add pages in, because all I could see was just basically like a sheet of paper on the screen. And I'm thinking, no, surely I can do web pages. And he was one of the ones in that group that was coming back to me and helping me out. And so I see this as a way of just paying it forward, really. But me being me, and, video is what I do. So why not set it up and do a proper little thing of it? And if it becomes something that people can share about and use, then brilliant. But right, that's enough waffling from me. What I'm going to do is share this screen. And so what you can see is it's a little bit transparent. It's a bit like, I was going to say it's a bit like standing here with me trousers down, but that's probably a bit, but it's, you're looking at all my numbers and things here, but I can't help that. So we'll move on. But what you get in this control panel then is, I don't want that little screen there. Let's shift that up there. It's all right, I'm just jigging this around. So what you've got down, this is your main dashboard when you come in. And if you're using Kajabi for your courses, well, that's down here in the product area. But right at the top is website. And that's where we're going to go in. Now I'm going to keep going on this. I can see questions over on the side, so please, while we go in, chip in, ask some questions, and as quick as I can, I'll get to it. In fact, I am seeing the little comments pop up on the screen here with, I'm using Ecamm if you're interested. I think it tells you on here anyway. Great little tool for this kind of sharing like this. But right, so here we go. So I'm into my website, and it asks me in here what I wanted. So one of the questions was about themes, and I'm using the Premier site theme. I think by default it comes into this. I'm pretty sure James Webmore uses this same theme for his site, and I kind of thought, well, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. And so I've stuck with this. So now what I've done, I've got a website built here already. There's only like 4 pages to it, and I'm actually looking at it at the minute, wanting to change it. I don't know if you're like me, but you kind of build something and then you go, actually I could change it again. But I'm trying not to use that as a means of procrastinating. So tell you what I'll do. I'll jump in and show you first of all, my homepage, and then I'll explain how the structure goes, because that was one of the most complicated bits that I found. Just popping over here. Got a couple more eyes. Say hello if you're on. Love to know who's here. April, brilliant. It's April that I did this for. And so I'm glad you're here. So yeah, jump in, ask me anything. So all I've done so far, then we've clicked on that and we've jumped in to just get a preview. Now this is going to be a little bit slow. I'm trying to set it on a HD quality because I want you to be able to see the detail on the screen, else there's not a lot of point doing it. Thank you, April. Give it a sec. See, if I were doing a pre-recorded video, I could pause it at this point and just let it catch up, but we're in the hands of our internet. All right, so what you're looking at, and this is the same whether you're doing a landing page or your home page like this. Down the side here is my actual page, and we'll go through that in a second, and I'll show you the elements to it. And then down this left-hand side, these are actually the sections that make up that site. So if did I have it? No. Tell you what I'll do is I will preview this in a new tab. So this is actually my site. David, glad you made it. So what I'm doing now, I've got 2 tabs open. One is actually my working page and one over here. I just want you to see what the page is looking like. So along the top here is my header area, and we'll come to that in a minute. Then I've got a banner at the top. I'm running here, I've played around with my screen. So this is running off a 13-inch screen. So it's compressed it in slightly. But I've got a kind of section at the top here with an image in the background, some text and a call to action. Then it runs down. I've got one section here. So these are my 2 products, Pro Video Academy, 0 to go in under an hour. So I've just put them in here with a kind of learn more button, and that will take you through to a different page. Then I've got a testimonial section. Then I've got a feed that's pulling in from my blog, and one that I did just this morning is sitting up here as the first one, and then they just backtrack through. And then there's a link there to my About Me page, and then there's a final call to action at the bottom. So that's what my home page is actually looking like at the minute. So as we jump back over here, let's just break that down for you and show you how you build that up. So over on this side, let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger there. So as I click on anything over on the right side here in this preview area, over on the left, it will jump across and it will change the relevant section. So this is called a hero section at the top here. And if I click on this text, I don't edit it over here, but it pulls up for me on this side and shows me where I need to change it. Okay. This next block of text here is in this. And as you can see, it's just like any editor in here. You can change it around. So if I wanted to make a bolder, if I want to do my titling within that section, which I can show you actually on my landing page in a second or later on if you're interested. So this is all working in here. It's asking me down here then, there's my background image that I've uploaded. I could have had a background video. And then I have got a call to action. So this is working down here. But again, it's as easy to jump over on the side, and then the column on the left just kind of jumps to wherever you are. So I can put in here the title of it. What do I want it to do? It's going to a URL, and it's heading off over there. So yeah, that's the first sort of header part there. Is that making sense to start with? Right, okay. I'll come to that, Wendy. Wendy's just asking, how do we edit the separate pages like the About Me? That's a biggie, and we're definitely just going to show you that in a minute. So down the left here, I've got that hero section. I've actually got a section hidden. What you'll find when you open this up to do a new website is it will come pre-populated with blocks, and I've been lazy here. What you can do is just hide and show these elements if you want. So when I show that again, you'll see what I mean. This is how it comes in by default, but I don't particularly want this section. So I can either, as I've done there, at the side here, you can just tell it to hide. Or now I'm in this section, I can just tick at the bottom there and say delete it. So it's only on the ones that they're putting in for me. So this area here then, when I jump across to that, is text and image. So there's my block of text, and there's my image on that side of the screen. The next section down is exactly the same. Then I've got a testimonial area, and again, when I click on the right, the column on the left changes automatically, and I can put my individual testimonials in here. Now you need to just come back because it's kind of gone too many sections in. So within this testimonial area here, it will let me add those individual testimonials here. Okay, so I'm just putting them in, their name, a title, a message that they gave me, and then an image, and that is how it appears over on that side. Okay, so that's quite easy, and you can just keep adding testimonials if you got them. So I'm just running down this page first of all, just to give you a feel for, so that's testimonials, that's my feed in from the blog. So again, over here, it's this section that's called blog posts. Then I've got another hero section below it, which is this. And what I've got there then is text over on the right-hand side. This is the same as what I'd done at the top of the page, but the text was over on the left. So when I go into this, I've added a background image again. What you can do as well, which is quite nice, is this background color. So rather than it just being hang on, let's get it right. Right, so that is the photo as it came in. Nothing like being live. What I'm trying to show you is I can actually put a background color over the front of the photo. So if I want it to look a little bit more, so that's the color as it was originally. I can then choose a color over here, so it kind of keeps it in with the style of my site, and then I can bring the transparency down, and as you can see, it's just sort of coming through there. So that can be quite a nice way of that washed out sort of image behind it, making it look like it's just blurred into the background. Now I can just tweak that and adjust it, and then click over here and then click save, and that will hold that as to what it was. And yeah, final call to action. So that sort of shows how that page is made up. Okay, so we'll come back, Silk, to what goes into the header. But just showing you first of all, this is really the structure of how you build a page. So there are all the individual sections that just sit one on top of another. And if I want to move the order around, so there's one there, it's got to cross through it because that's hidden. So although it's in my page, it really should be deleted. It's hidden. But I can grab on any of these sections and just move it around and it will change the order of it. So now my testimonials are going to go below the blog post. Yeah. So it's as simple as that, just to drag and move things around. And then I click save when I want to come out of it. And that's my page done. So adding a section, if by default they haven't put you something in there that you want, these are all the options that you've got. So I can add countdown timers, call to actions. The custom content is a really good one. But any of these that I want to, if I just touch on them here, it will show me it over on this side. But it hasn't added it in until I click add. So it's just giving me purely a preview. The call to action. Custom content. Now this is one that I struggled a bit with, so let me help you out with this. I'm going to add this one in for now, and it will always just stick it at the bottom of the page, and then you kind of drag it up and put it in whatever order you want. Right, so in my call to action, at the minute, it's got, I wanted to have a video and text. I think I'd seen on James's site that he was doing it, and I thought, oh, how do I do that? How do I get text and a video sitting side by side? And I got there in the end. But by default, there's an image and then there's text. And what this is doing over here is I've got two blocks within this custom area. I've got an image and I've got text. Now, if I want to, let's click on image. Oh, am I right? I tell you what, I'm going to add this first. So I'm going to add a bit of content in here. And I want to drop in a video. So now I've got three. It's going to screw this up, trying to put three things in. So I've got an image, text, and video at the minute. So I'm going to push video up to where the image was. And then click on image and say delete this block. So now I've got space in here to have a video, which is going to sit here. Oh. Come on. Video. Add my video like I would in the other sections. And that's going to sit in that space there. And if I want the order to change, then same as before, I just drag that around and the text jumps to the left and the video will sit on the right. Okay, so I'm going to delete that off of this one because this is my live homepage. Didn't really think that through, did I? So delete this section and we should be back to normal. Okay, so that's my homepage. Let's leave the page. I don't want to save any of those changes. Now, Silk, you probably did like I did. Let me just come back in. So either way into this, customize or click down there where it says Premier Site. Because I looked at this and it says static pages down there, which I assumed was what I needed to do my About Me page and different things, and it isn't. Come on, internet. I reckon all the kids on our estate have just come home from school and they've all jumped on their computers and all of a sudden this has gone very slow. Right. What I'm going to show you now is just how we do these other pages then. And then we'll have a look at the menu. So the structure that I've just shown you actually is every page is going to work the same. All of the pages have got this same kind of the navigation down the left where you do all the work, and then on the right is showing you live what is happening. So it's a really good way of building. And over here, actually, while I'm waiting for that, you can click on the mobile and it will give you a live preview of what your site looks like on a mobile. So I'm not worried over here. I went off in here looking at pages and things. You're not using this. You're using the index for your home page, which is what it's called. And then what we're going to do is come back a level, and we're not under website anymore. Come back over here, and I think it's this symbol here. Dear, this is really going slow. Is landing pages. And what we're going to do is every page is an individual landing page. So I hope you haven't got a whole load of pages on your website, but if it's, typically like me with a couple of product pages and an about me page, maybe a contact page, then we're going to go in and we're building it as its own landing page. Claudia, yes, this is being recorded. I will put this up. So now I've got a list of landing pages in here, and what I'll show you is, let's jump in, for instance, to my about page. Oh dear. It's bizarre, isn't it? It's getting slower as we're going. There's nothing else open. Right. So my about page. So again, you notice I've got this same menu along the top, and we'll come to that in a few minutes. Thank you, David. Feels painful at the minute. Right, my about page. What I can do is just push that off and lose that for a bit if I want, so that I can just have a look at the screen as it should be. Right. So my about page. So if you remember, like some of those other pages, we've got an area that I can move the text on the side and just put a call to action underneath it. That's what this is. And so that image in the background is just the background of this section. The whole page, all these pages are just built up in blocks, one on top of the other. This is a video section, as I'll show you in a second. A block of text, testimonials again, and then just a little kind of keep in touch bit. So if I pull that back out, and you'll see that it's built in exactly the same way, that this is my hero section at the top. You can actually clone pages. What I would love to see do, and I've put a support ticket in asking about this, is to actually, so like my testimonials section here, for instance, I'm having to do that manually on every page, unless I clone a page and move it over. So I've requested and said, I think it would be a really good feature if I could pick up one of these sections on the left, copy it, drag it to a new window and paste it in there. We'll see. Right, I'm just being told HD has been deactivated because the internet connection isn't fast enough. What a shame. I've got a question. Yes, headers and footers, absolutely. You don't have to redo that. Yeah, and we'll show you that in a minute. So I'm just showing you on here then that really, it all comes in exactly the same, but I've created this as its own landing page. So I've started off, if I back out of this, we don't need to go into any detail on that one because it's really what I've just been saying on that home page. What I'm doing then is, when I've created this, so we'll back up in a second and I'll show you that list of landing pages. You just click create a new landing page. You put a title in it and you start building it out in the same way that you've seen these other pages done. But this URL then, this is going to be your link that you need. And you can actually you can change the wording around. If it's by default put in, it'll just put your title in. But if you want to change it around afterwards, you could just abbreviate that as a link. and then I'm going to copy it here. And so every one of these pages is individually built up like this, yeah, in your website. Then what we do, we come back over here to website. This was the bit where I was getting all tied up on. Navigation. Are you ready, Silk? It's going to get exciting now. So over here, by default, main menu, I've just taken that out, or I've left that. And what I've done is over on the right, it says create a new link list, which is a new menu. And so mine is, took me ages to come up with a new name, and I've called it My Menu. And over there, you'll see that I've got my blog, the Academy, 0 to go, and about, and then my library. So the about page that we've just made, so you can see on there, while this is waiting to move across, it just said, you know, click a new page. And then what I do is I give it a name and then I give it a path. And as you can see, I've taken off the URL part, the provideohackers.com, and then started at that / and it's added it in. So this is how, so it seems a little bit clunky, but it's the way we're all doing it. And then, so I'm now creating my own menu. And if I want to move around, so you can see there, add a new link. So that's really adding in a new page. If I want to change the order of these, I click on this little symbol on the left and again kind of drag it and it will move around and go into a different order. If you decide afterwards you need to change the name of it, you know, you can come back into here. Messed that up, didn't I? Let's put it back how it was. Okay, so that's your navigation. And then what you're going to do when you come back over to your website, sorry, what's the P for in the link? Not sure what you mean. Silk, am I reading that wrong? Oh, sorry. Yes, I realise what you're saying. That's the address. It's the way Kajabi builds it. It's not anything that I've typed in. So if I come back here to these landing pages, let me just show you. Whether the P is for pages. I actually half expected somebody from Kajabi to be on here because I posted up a little video a couple of weeks back about how to do a webinar on this, and Kajabi actually commented on YouTube. And then when I said I was doing this, they said they were really excited to see it. So I thought, oh, that'd be quite cool, but never mind. So let me go back into here then, and I'll just show you. Yeah, so in that about page, yeah. Pipeline? No, this, because I'd built this before they'd introduced pipelines. You're going to regret asking now, aren't you? Oh, for goodness sake. Right, it's gone in too far anyway. Details, all I was showing you. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, it's a good job you're patient, guys. Yeah, look, there you go. See, I can't control that. It's my URL and then the /p is just a default setting in Kajabi. So whoever's built the system out has decided that the P needs to be there. So what else can I show you? Let me just show you back on that website page how the navigation then fits back in. So we chose the navigation over there. We settle that up as its own thing. And then when we go into the site, what we have at the top of any page, so whether you're doing a landing page or you're doing the index page, the home page for your website, the top element will be header, and you choose to tick whether you want it on or not. So this, as you see, is my index coming in, and right at the top there is my header. I feel like I should be cracking some jokes or something while I'm waiting. Is anyone still here? You're still here, Silk. Thank you. Right. So the first thing you need to do is to tick to show the header, and that's this section across the top. You can either have text or an image for your logo over here. And then menu. So I can actually turn on and off the menu if I want. Playing around with a live site here, but you can see what's just happened. The menu's just disappeared. Okay, Wendy, thank you. Silver lining. The downtime's giving you time to have a look through your page. Brilliant. So show menu first of all, and then I go in here and I choose my menu, which was the one that I just built a few minutes ago. And there we go. And yes, that will. So every time you build a landing page, which will be your about page or your product pages, so you go into each one individually and you build it out. Or like I say, if you've got similar ones, you could clone that page or duplicate that page, that landing page, and create another one from it. And then you just tick whether you want that header to appear. And I think once you've done one, it will by default jump to that same menu. But definitely, if I go back to that navigation area now and I change the order of my menu, it will change it on every page. So once it's done and it's in. Okay. And the same thing happens with the footer. You know, I choose down here what I want to appear in the footer. I can edit it here, and it will, that left column, like I said right at the start, will jump across. Jasmine Star, is that? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, good question whether that's potentially a photo that she's using up there. If you went on a site and you took your cursor across it and it showed you it like that, then you would know that it was text. If not, then it's likely to be an image that she's put up there. You could, I'm not sure personally, you can get in and you can change the style sheet around on these. You can certainly change it what fonts you want to use. I think in here you can jump in and change the base font, header font. So you've got some control, and I'm guessing you can probably get into the actual, I don't know. I'm sure somebody can actually do this for you, or if you really wanted to, I wouldn't be surprised if the support team actually offered to help you and put a different font in there. Okay. Yeah, so, sorry, April. When I put my picture, tell you what I'm going to do. Look at this, I'm going to show off here if I can. Da-da-da. Look at that. April's question. I'm going to put my picture on the page. How do I get the background colour off my face? I want the navy blue background, but it's making my face blue like Willy Wonka. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Sorry, I've got two questions popping up at once. Yeah, April, if you want to make that blue but keep your face not affected by the color, then you need to do it in Photoshop or another program and bring it in already edited. All this is doing is very simply, laying a color across the top of it, and it will just, adjust the transparency of it. So that's as limited as that in terms of what it will do. The one that I'm actually using on my header there, I did that in Photoshop and left it so it was bluer on one side and faded to an original color, but then I have still put a wash over it down here to try and match in. So no, you need to do that outside, I'm afraid. Hey, this is good. I'm looking like I know what I'm doing on this. Wendy, I'm not sure what you mean about your computer. I don't see why that would change. I tell you what, April, I'm not saying this to anybody else. Send me a photo across if you want, and I'll do that for you. It's a very quick thing to do in Photoshop, but I don't mind having to play with that for you if you want. It won't update. Yeah, Wendy, I'm actually in a very similar situation at the minute. I've got a laptop, which is my 13-inch laptop, which is running fine. And then I've got a Mac Pro, which is, crikey, it's got to be 10 years old. And it won't update. So I need to be getting a new iMac really or something. And I'm kind of working between two computers. And I've got this one, which I don't know if you can hear, but the fan's whirring away down here because it overheats too quick. So yeah, I feel your pain, Wendy. Any other questions, guys? I'm here and not particularly needing to run off, but I don't want to kind of drag it out. So, I mean, I'll tell you what I'll show you, because this one's got some nice features in. This was... Oh, I haven't showed you a blog. Let's cover a few things, because there might be things I'm thinking what people mentioned that aren't here. Right, so on the blog side of things, so all you're doing is you're pulling that element into your homepage, and it will just pull in your latest feed. And then actually the blog area over here, I just create a new blog, and here's one I did this morning in Blue Peter style, if you're in the UK and you get that. Blue Peter was a children's show that they used to kind of, instead of doing a craft, they'd go, and here's one we created earlier. So that's what I'm doing, because it would take about the next hour to do a page at the rate this is going at the minute. So I've created a new blog post. I give it a title. It is pretty simple. There's not a lot of options for it, but I think that's fine, and it's what people expect from a blog. So I upload my video. I happen to have made a custom thumbnail for it, but if not, it just lets me, once the video's in, this appears and it says use your current frame as a thumbnail. I give it a title and I put my text in. And it's just, again, a simple kind of text editor format down there. one thing I don't like, and if Kajabi you ever watch this, here's another thing that I'd like to see changed: the tags. You don't remember tags. So if I can't remember whether I've done a tag for equipment in the past and I've done it with a capital E or a lowercase, and I might have put lights or I might have put lighting. So it doesn't, I don't start typing and it remembers what I've already done, or it doesn't, in WordPress, it would show me tags that have already been used. So there's a little feature that I would like to see added, because at the minute, I really can't remember without going back and looking what I tagged others with. And the reason I would tag is that within a blog post, I can choose, let me come out of it. He says, settings might be in here. No, it's a higher level up than this. Let me think. Okay. Now what I can do is I can choose, and I can get to it, but it will take me ages to get to it. When we're on that web page bit, and at the top right, I was looking at index. If I went through to blog, it would open up the actual template for the blog post, and I can choose whether I want it to show the date that the post was created, and the tags that I've given it. So I can take them off. If I've done that on my SLR coaching, my other website that is still over on, can only have one website on here. So that still sits on WordPress. And on that one, I don't want the date on there, because if it's a year old, I don't particularly want people going, cool, this is an old post. So you can just untick it and it won't show the date, but it will show tags. So if I'm looking at one particular post like this one and there's a tag called equipment, then it will pull together all the other ones that have the same tag equipment. So that's why I want to see the tags being done. Blue pizza. No, Blue Peter. I'll have to put a link up to the website. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Here's one that we've done already. So that's how you do blog posts, and yeah, they just automatically, you write it in there, you publish it, and it will automatically put it in the feed. Static pages is just like terms and condition, or so it's just literally, there's no formatting, it's just a page of text that nobody ever reads. Privacy policy and terms. I was just going to show you this landing page. Because I've been playing around with this one, I'm quite pleased with it. So this started out, I did a webinar on here, and as I say, I'm not going to go into doing a webinar because I did a video that I stuck on YouTube a few weeks back. I'll put a link in the comments if you're interested. And I just showed how to go through all the stages. It's brilliant. It puts it all together. It sets all the emails up, the sign-in page. It gives you instructions on going over to YouTube and setting up the actual video over there and then bringing it back in. And the sales page that it created for that, I've kind of played with and adapted, and I've just changed it around. So on my homepage, I'd got like my homepage, and then I've got a link to my academy, 0 to go, about. Well, actually, the link now that was going to the academy page, I didn't think was anywhere near as good as what this landing page was. So I've made the landing page my Pro Video Academy page on my website. If you're still with me. So I'm showing you this because it's got some nice little bits in it. I've got timers in there. We've got video clips. We've got testimonials. There's a bit of everything going in here, which is probably why it's taken even longer to load up. But if you want to see a page with all the bells and whistles in, this is it. Adding a header and footer to your landing page, Silk, you go into what I was showing you earlier. Well, it's here because I'm on a landing page here. And that header is at the top. Then I've got all these little buttons, all the little sections down here. And then the last one will be footer. Okay. And then you go in and first thing you do is tick whether you want it to show or not. So on this page, I don't have a header. I haven't got the menu. Rightly or wrongly, I'm still just debating whether I should do that or not. Tell a lie. Oh, come on. I haven't got the menu. I have got a header because that's what that image is. So I built all this out separately. So it's actually a bit inconsistent and I need to go through it and change that around on the website. Wow. Just reading your comment, April, about terms and the privacy policy. I remember watching somebody say, Google it and just find one of these pages, a template, and change the wording around to yours. And that's all I've done. I certainly haven't paid anything for it. Others might be able to chip in. Your screen's frozen. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's not my feed. I wouldn't be surprised. Still frozen? Ah. Oh, that is annoying. I can see on mine that it's frozen. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Can you still hear me? Is it just the screen that's stuck or is the whole thing gone? Okay, we hear you. Right. Well, I'm going to carry on talking, and if you can make a note, we're yikes, how long into this are we? 45 minutes in. I guess you're going to have to grab this on the replay. So let me just quickly explain what I'm doing here. I'm just going to, because you'll be able to catch this on the replay. So I'm just running down my landing page on here. I don't know if there's any way that I can give this a kick without. Right, if I stop screen sharing for a second. Oh, we're back. Oh, I didn't even see that. I'm merrily waffling away to myself over here. Right, so yeah, all I was going to show you, this is this sits alone as a landing page, but it also now I've pulled it in and I'm using it as just one of those pages. So because of the way it works, I can literally just take the address of this one, as I showed you earlier, and put this into my navigation in my menu, and that will now sit on the top, and it's just changed my website around. I've just sort of redone my Pro Video Academy page. So I've got a header at the top, I've got a video in there, block of text here. I can show you these sections if you want. Let me whiz over it first. Call to action, my testimonials again. So this is where I wanted to be able to do that custom content. I wanted to have a video sitting alongside text, and that's what we've done here. You can see I'm just changing the color around slightly on the sections just to break it up a bit. Again, I've got an image on the left, text on the right, call to action button. There's a little timer going there. So this is like three sections, and then I've duplicated it down. Then we got a whole block of text. Yeah, all right. So let's show you those sections. See if there's anything new in here that I can just pull in. So again, when I look at it on the left here, I can edit over here and it will alter that on this side. But I tend to, another thing that I like to do, if you start getting a lot of elements and you get quite a long page, what you can do on here is to rename the section. Otherwise, they're all called like video or title or timer. So I've got on here, this section is, have you got big plans? And that's just because that's the first line of that section. Yep. Want some of this is that section there. So again, I can change this around. This is my call to action button. And as I click on the elements, it will change it over here. What does it want to do? It's going to go through to the checkout page that I've set up for this Pro Video Academy. My testimonials you've seen. So this was one of these custom sections. So text sits on the left and I can edit that around here. So now this doesn't give me a title. So I've had to format this over here. So all I do is click that bit and I go into formats and I choose a heading. And this is probably heading 2 or something on here. And you'll see that it will just make that bit stand out. And you can adjust that to whatever you want. This bit down here is just normal text. Okay. And then my video's over there. If I wanted to change the order around and have the video, let's have a look at Christine before. Not a lot left, guys. Those of you that are still with me. Yeah. So down there, if I want to change that around and put the video before the text, I just move that up to there. Didn't take, did it? Right. And now, magically over here, that's just changed sides. All right, so easy as that to move things around. I might leave it over there, why not? Head back out of that section. There are all the other bits that I've got in there. Your countdown time is very easy. You put a date in and you tell it which sort of style you want. Yeah. Call to action buttons, things like that. Yeah, so what did I say I'd put in here as my... So add a section is always the bit that will just drop that any new areas in. When I go into the header on here, so yeah, I am showing a header, but I'm not showing the menu. So if I tick there, it'll bring the menu in. See? Well, I didn't want it in there because originally this was a landing page and I didn't want people going anywhere else other than to my call to action. So, okay, I think we're there. If, yeah, have a look through, have a go through that. I'll put the replay up here. But I think really that's pretty much everything you need to know about setting this up. If you want to put your own custom URL in, your own domain name, there's a section already on the Kajabi site about that. Like I say, Kajabi's brilliant. They've got really good support. Don't be afraid to shout out and ask, and definitely go onto their Facebook group and ask over there because there's some really good guys in that group. Right, I'm about to disappear, I think, unless there's any last questions up here. Sylvia, hello. Sylvia, look, you made an appearance on here. I'm sure you've seen it already. Where's she gone? There you go. Brilliant. Oh, I think we're stuck again. Right, well, that looks like that's stuck, which is probably my cue to give up and go. But thank you very much, guys. I hope that was useful. Yeah, like I say, it's not really my thing. I'm not a web designer, but I just wanted to show you what I've learned, and hopefully that helps you get going. But definitely, Kajabi gets full marks from me. I would totally recommend you using it. And yeah, go for it. All right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you around.